Good afternoon, everyone. I am Miss Renaya Brown.
Good
Good
afternoon, Ms.
afternoon, Ms.
Brown.
Brown.
Thank you. I have you gathered here today to speak about parental involvement in the school setting. And first, I want to thank you all for coming out. And what we're going to be discussing are many ways that you can be involved in your child's education and showing up to the school, being seen, being known by teachers, outside of just the parent-teacher conference that you normally will get called out for. So, the first thing I wanted to touch on was getting to know your child's teachers and the administrative team. Now, at the beginning of the school year is coming up, so we know that it's going to be a hectic time of the year from transitioning from summer to back to school. So I wouldn't suggest you going into the school like the first week of school trying to like hold a conference just to see who the teachers are, because especially in like a secondary school setting, schedule changes may occur. Like if it's elementary school, they need to make sure the kids are placed with the right teacher and things like that. So a lot of changes happening during, like I say, the first 3 weeks of school. So I want to suggest that. What I would suggest is starting from open house. So open house normally takes part like the ending of September to October, and every school has an open house. Like that's just required of the school. So when once open house, you find out the date's open house, that's when I suggest that you make yourself known to all teachers, because by then, once again, if you have a child in a secondary school setting, their schedule is probably most likely set at that time, so you know those most likely the teachers that the child will be with for the rest of the school year. Now, open house is normally like 2 hours, give or take. And at the beginning of each open house at every school, they have like an opening ceremony. So my advice would be to get there early so you can attend the opening ceremony. So they gather you guys in the auditorium. You have your administrative team that will speak, the counselors, like basically like the top people at the school will speak. This is your chance to see them face to face, get names, get information that they point out to you guys, give to you guys. And I know sometimes certain schools, they give out important dates and information during open house, because this is the time where you have majority of the parents there at one time, and you're able to feed them information that they need to guide them through the rest of the school year. Now, once that is over, you're now going to the classes. So if you have an elementary, if your child is in elementary, pre-K, you know, things of that, it's just one set class minus the electives. So in that class, teachers won't normally talk to you about your child specifically because they don't have that much time to do that. But this is the chance. They will have their contact information. They'll explain everything that's going on in the class. They will even let you know if they give homework, how often they give homework, which is very important because we know that kids always say, we don't have homework, we don't have homework. So at that time, that's when you should jot down everything the teacher is saying. Contact information, how often homework is given. You want to, if they have an open door policy, or if you need to call them or email them before you want to come in, things of that nature. That's the very first step. And then next, I would say, once the teacher is done talking, I'm pretty sure that teacher will allow some time for parents to speak with any questions or concern. This is the chance for you to go to that teacher personally and introduce yourself. Let them know who your child is. Let them know that you are available at any time to speak to them, whether it's for behavior problems or a bad grade or the good things, because we don't want to be contacted only for the bad things, because that has a negative impact on our feelings and attitude towards the school and the teachers. So it's best to let them know that you're open at any time for them to contact you. And they're going to pass around like sign-in sheets. They're going to ask for your name, your student's name, your email address, and your phone number. Make sure that is up to date. It's very important, because a lot of times parents will say, oh, I didn't know this was going on. I wasn't aware of this. And it's like, well, we called, we emailed, but your email address wasn't working. We called the phone number, no one answered, or we got voicemail, or we said the phone was disconnected. So make sure you give them updated information so that they can contact you. And by the end of the night, normally when you're walking out, The administrative team will be somewhere around the hallways or at the exit. Now, of course, there's thousands of kids in the school. Every parent probably saying something to the administrators. Even though they may not remember you at that moment, it's best to still introduce yourself to them. Because later on down the line, you can say, yeah, I'm such and such parent. I met you at open house and you told me to come in if this occurs. So it's best to just introduce yourself to any person on the administrative team, regardless if they're going to remember you or not. And it also works in your benefit too, because when you come in the building, you should be aware of who is a part of your child's education. You don't want to walk into school and you're walking past the principal and don't even know that's the principal. So that's why it's best to introduce yourself and things like that, even if they don't remember you. Now, normally, PTSD, I know way back then, it used to be a big thing. Now it's kind of on the decline. And it's on the decline because parents are not involved with it. It's too much stipulations behind PTSD. A lot of parents just don't want to deal with it. They feel like they don't have the time. If the school has an active PTSD, sign up for it. Don't worry about, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it to meetings because I have work, or I have this, I have that. Just sign up for it. And when the time comes for meetings, that's when you'll cross that bridge. Don't let it discourage you because you feel like you don't have the time. Because in all actuality, you can make time for it. It's necessary. And also, if there's opportunities for like upcoming events, like say if a school is having like a field day, a field trip, or they having like a parents' night out and they need parents to volunteer to help set up, to help get things ready, sign up. It just shows that you're taking initiative and being a part of your child education, and you're taking initiative to actually be a part of the school that your child is at, receiving their education.
Okay.
And when your child sees that you're taking initiative to be a part of things, they're going to take initiative to be a part of things, and it makes the learning process much better. Okay. Now, this is something very important, the student portal. And I say this is important because I've had students in my classroom tell me, oh, my mom don't know she can get on the portal. Oh, when my mom tried to get on my portal, I tell her that my password isn't working, so she can't get on at the moment. Now, here's the thing. Miami-Dade County Public Schools specifically, they offer a parent portal. Now, the parent portal, you have to go to the school to get a 6-digit access code that's personalized for each child. So if you have more than one child in Miami-Dade County Public Schools, they're each going to have their own separate code for you to access the parent portal. You can go without them even knowing. And you also will need their ID. Their ID comes on report cards, school papers that's sent home with their name on it, always have their ID attached to it. So, or you can actually get it from the school as well. You're going to need that information as well as their date of birth, zip code, place of birth to get in for security purposes. Now, once you are in, you are able to set your own password. So now, once you complete that, you have your own parent portal. You don't even have to tell the child that you have the parent portal. On the parent portal, you're able to see grades and attendance record. So like we know for middle and high school students, sometimes they get a little off and they like to, oh, I'm gonna skip class, or I'm gonna go to class late, or whatever the case may be, and they come up with all type of excuses. You get to see that. As soon as the teacher inputs the attendance and grades, it pops right up on the parent portal. Also, there's the teacher's contact information. So if you lost their information, you can easily go in, and I think they have like a little email icon by each teacher's name. You click that, you can email them. And another thing that's important is there are a lot of resources available on the portal. So things that the district is offering, things that the community is offering, the county is offering, you can see that from the portal. And like the school lunch menu, nutrition, and volunteering information, transportation. That's just to name a few on the parent portal. Okay. Now, this is something that I'm pretty sure we all can relate to. We have our students at schools, and 9 times out of 10, they're a part of a club or a sports team. Now, some parents may feel like, oh, that's not important, education comes first. But what I can say, if your child is in a club or on a sport team and they have a game, a tournament, or a competition, anything related to that club or sports team, be there, support, connect with other parents whose child are also involved in the sport team or club, because it motivates the kids to do better. So You have a question? Go ahead.
How can we volunteer in the sports club at the school?
Perfect question. Now, I know to volunteer in the school's period, you have to go through a background check. So you have to go to the school board downtown and say you want to be a parent volunteer, and you'll fill out the information and complete a background check. Once that come back with the okay, then you can start volunteering. So if that school or that sports team have an open door policy, you can go at any time and volunteer. The school will have your information on file. So once you complete the background check and everything is fine, you can volunteer with no problems. Go on field trips, do everything.
You have to do the background check.
Background, you have to get a background check, because if they come out there and you're out there volunteering and you didn't complete a background check, school can be in trouble. But yeah, so it's best to support. When you support and you're active in what they're doing, kids are going to be motivated to not only do better in that sport or in that club specifically, but in school, because that's an incentive for them. Mm-hmm. And if they see that parents are coming out, even that's a means of connecting with their coaches or the club sponsor. And most likely there are teachers at the school. So even if they're not your child's teacher during the day, they can also connect with your child's teacher. And you see how you build a network, and it turns into a relationship around that one child. So you have these multiple people that's looking out for that one child by you being involved in speaking and being active. And the last thing I wanted to touch on was the community resources. Now, the community plays an active role in education. Community leaders and programs, when they're offering things, they go through the schools in that community. So if your child needs something that may be hindering them from continuing their education, go to the school, talk to the schools, let them know, okay, I'm having trouble with this, I'm having a problem with this. Do you have any resources that can assist me with this? Don't wait, like just sit there and sit on it and hopefully something come. Get out to the school, because they have resources available for students. They want students to succeed, okay? So there are all type of resources and programs, even like after school programs. Specifically at the school that I used to work at, they have an OIC program for the area. And that program is so big, it's for all students. If you're in elementary, middle school, high school, even some in college, they come back during the summer and continue with the program. And they have things like after school, summer camp, homework assistant, like assistants in school. They have the counselors that come check on the kids, daily progress reports, just everything. So it's best to know what's going on in your community and the resources available to you. Also, when there are parent meetings, events, career fairs, health fairs, whatever they have at the school, go. Because you have these teachers, these community leaders, and administrative team that's running these fairs. So you want to go and you want to get as much information as possible, okay? And you also, and that'll also give the administrative team and the teachers, they'll be able to see like, oh, that's such and such parent. That's such and such parent. Yeah, I saw them here. I saw them there. And that's a good connotation to your child, okay? So to wrap it up, the best way to be involved is to just go, as I was saying. Any questions?
Yes, ma'am. You spoke earlier about having access to the parent portal. What are the steps again, if you don't mind?
The steps, first you need to contact the child's school and ask for the 6-digit PIN specifically to that child, and also their ID. Then you go online to dayschools.net, click on parent portal, and you'll input all that information, and it'll take you to a screen to create a password. Once you create that password, and boom, you're in.
Okay, thank you, because I was aware of the regular portal, but not the parent portal specifically.
Yes, it's there. Any more questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Wonderful
Thank you.
presentation.
Thank you.